I am Neil Larthos. I am the next Abdullah. You are the next Neville Goddard. Your SP gets wet every single time they think of you. And your bank account makes Jeff Bezos look homeless. Okay? We are going to talk really quick about movement, the bridge of events, how to know if your manifestation is coming, if it's working, right? So really quick, before I make another fucking 3-hour video like a fucking the next Avengers Endgame here, guys, I'm gonna get to the fucking point, okay? One of the easiest ways to know if after you imagined, after you visualized, after you did a SAT session or robotically fucking affirmed, one of the easiest ways to confirm to yourself that it's coming is when you start noticing very similar things pertaining to your manifestation starting to happen, okay? For example, just like the majority of you guys, when you're trying to manifest an SP, a lot of you guys will notice other people all of a sudden getting an SP, right? You'll have a best friend who has been single since the fucking 80s, and all of a sudden you start imagining that you are the most desirable person on the sexual market and that your SP wants to rip your clothes off. But instead of you seeing that in the 3D, you see that your best friend who has been going through the worst drought since fucking the Sahara Desert, all of a sudden he has a fucking girlfriend now. It's like, why the hell? You'll tell yourself, why the hell does he have a girl but not me? What the fuck? Is the devil trying to laugh at me? No, it's actually God showing you that it's working. Because whatever you put in your consciousness, that's going to be reflected. So instead of looking at it and go, this is not working, fuck, even worse, other people are getting an SP and now I feel left out. Instead of saying that, you should say, oh, well, duh, that's all I've been doing is saturating myself with love. That's all I see is love everywhere. So you should look at that and go, yeah, I'm going to eat the fuck out of my SP's ass. For real. That's what you got to say whenever you fucking see that shit. You have to be like, oh shit, I am fucking going to get sucked dry as hell once me and my SP get together. Or fucking go to another imaginal act and see herself sucking you dry there. But when you start seeing things that are pertaining to your manifestation, that means that it's working. It's actually very similar to, and I can't tell you how many times this fucking happens, right? It's so similar to when you are like, okay, for example, this is actually kind of a crazy example, but one time I was doing a video and I was parked in the parking lot near this gym, right? And no, I didn't fucking go in with my fat ass, but I was parked in this parking lot of a gym, and I had this random fleeting thought of this kid who I used to go to school with, and I don't exactly know why. It was strange. It just popped up in my head, and it was the first time I actually even thought of him once, even for a split second. First time I thought about him in years, right? And I just had that kind of thought that you have when you remember somebody and you're like, oh, I wonder how he's doing. Well, sadly, I find out a week later on Instagram that he passed away. And dude, this dude was young, right? Okay, he was in his 20s. I mean, tragedy, right? And actually, I'm going to be honest with you, because obviously he's not a celebrity, so I'm still trying to figure out how it happened, right? But what's crazy is I go years without thinking about him, but the one time that he pops up in my brain, I see a double whammy a couple of days later, and again he pops up on my feed, and it was on our high school's Instagram page, and it was the only post that Instagram page posted since I fucking graduated, which was like 80 years ago. So that's the type of shit that you will see when you start saturating yourself with your SP. Or like when someone tells you for the first time about, you know, hey, have you ever heard Pink Floyd, right? And you're going to be like, what the fuck is that? And then you listen to The Dark Side of the Moon, and next thing you know, you're seeing Pink Floyd shirts everywhere. People are mentioning it in popular culture references on your TV sitcoms. It's like you never noticed that Pink Floyd existed until someone brought it up, and now it's all over there. It's the same thing about height. I went almost 30 years without even realizing that height was such a big insecurity for men. As a matter of fact, I always had success with women. Even before I got into Red Pill or Manifestation, Law of Assumption, Neville Goddard, I always had success with women. I never once had a woman criticize me for my height. But then one day, I'm looking through the black pill, looking through all this looks maxing shit, and then I hear about the whole thing that, most people on Tinder get rejected if they're under 6 feet. And then next thing you know, for the first time in my whole entire life, I hear a girl mention something about my height, which is the reason why she rejected me, right? And then I start going through all these insecurities, and I start seeing it everywhere. I start hearing friends mentioning about my height when never once did anybody mention about it. That's not a coincidence. That's not just, your life being, that's silly. Isn't that interesting? No, it's not interesting. That's life. Because whatever you saturate yourself, whatever you become aware of, you will see that. So really, to make this video, to cut to the chase, is whatever you saturate your mind with, it will have to be reflected. Now, of course, all of us would love for us to have the SP reflected immediately right after we are doing a sat session in the damn shower, and then we just want them to just pop out of the fucking soap bottle cabinet. Hello, baby. And then she has her fucking tits hanging out there. Well, guess what? That's probably not going to fucking happen. How about that? But because reality still needs to reflect that back to you, you might fucking see it in a movie, right? Or in your, sitcom, whatever you're seeing, right? Or you could just be driving down the damn street, and all of a sudden you see a couple making out on this bench that is never occupied, but all of a sudden, boom, you see them making out. You see, instead of looking at that as woe is me, why could that not be me? Why is everybody happy but me? No, you have to realize that the reality where you are with SP, where you are happy and when everybody's jealous of you, already exists. And the whole reason why you're seeing that person make out with his girlfriend on the bench that is never occupied whatsoever is right by the bus stop, and you never see anybody waiting there. But now the first time that you see a couple there, boom, they're making out, and you are like, what the fuck? That is simply because it's working, okay? It would be the same thing as if you were trying to manifest $1 million, and you didn't get the $1 million the day after, but you're imagining $1 million in your bank account on Tuesday, and then Thursday comes around, and then you see in a movie that someone wins a jackpot, right? Or even in passing at the grocery store, you hear somebody talking about it in the aisle, and you're like, it's really fucking weird because I usually don't pay attention to people's conversations, but this one just sort of caught my attention, and they just so happen to be talking about $1 million, right? Don't say, what the fuck, Satan is tempting me. Satan is trying to see if I can turn the stones into bread. No. We live by the word of God alone, and the word of God says that you reap what you sow. If you keep sowing in your brain saturation of your desire, it will be reaped. You want to know why a lot of those people who notice everybody else has a girlfriend but them, and then they stay single for the rest of their life? It's not because the manifestation didn't work, but because they assumed that it didn't work. Therefore, instead of saturating their mind with, oh yes, it's working, oh yes, I have SP, this is confirmation that I have SP, instead, what do? They saturate their mind with bullshit, and with all this bullshit in their mind, they have to manifest more bullshit. And your SP is not bullshit. You have to manifest more bullshit, therefore you push SP out of the way. That's as simple. I mean, I'm trying to be as elementary, even more elementary than normal in this video. So that way, because I really want you guys to understand this. That's how simple it is to realize if your manifestation is coming. It's that simple. Just look out in the 3D. Well, look, I will say this as a side note. Actually, I'll save that for the next video because I'm going to do another one on movement. But if you notice in the 3D that there's some sort of similarity, boom, you got your manifestation. Now, I'm going to talk about why admitting that it's working could actually go against you. But whenever you notice things in the 3D, it's not so much about being surprised that things are working or feeling like manifestation is so difficult. But obviously, I know that a lot of you guys want to know if you're making mistakes, if you're the one who's in your own way. Well, I'll tell you this. If you are not pleased with going in your brain and doing a 5-second imaginal clip in your imagination of you making sweet love and fucking your SP against the see-through patio glass, right? And you just loop that over and over again like a damn porn flick in your mind, right? Oops, I meant to say cornflake. Cornflake. Okay? Loop that over and over. And if you can be more satisfied with that than things in the 3D, then you're not even going to be worried about what the 3D gives you to begin with, okay? But I'm going to make one more video on this movement, and then I'll take a vacation from this and make like 500 more videos on this because, you know, I love this shit, guys. I am Neil Lartos. This is all that the I'm Awareness had to say. And I know you're going to be okay.